and brought to you by Sisterlocks.com. I am Cassandra Lawson. I'm one of your co-hosts for the Sisterlocks Speaks podcast. I am so excited to be here and talk about today's topic. Just a little bit about myself. I'm the owner and operator of Sister Girl Styles. I have been a licensed cosmetologist for over 20 years. I've been doing Sisterlocks, specialized in Sisterlocks for the last 17 years. And my business model is I don't do hair, I change lives. Okay. I just want to welcome our my beautiful co-host for this podcast, Miss Jessica Davis. How you doing, Jessica?
I'm doing good, Cassandra. I am excited to be co-hosting with you. This is going to be so amazing. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Jessica, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I am the owner of Awesome Natural Hair Care Clinic and Awesome Natural Hair Loss Institute here in Kearney, Texas. Licensed master cosmetologist, certified trichologist and dermal a senior trainer for Sisterlocks, and I am the lover of all things natural hair care. And I don't just do hair; I change lives, one strand at a time.
Yes. I love hearing that. And what's funny is when people call me or when people ask me, can you do my hair? I'm just kind of like, oh, do
Yeah.
your hair? That's what- I won't say that bit in my mind. Do your hair. I mean, how may I help you? It's very silly, but I guess that's what after doing hair for so long. Um, so today's topic is buyer beware.
Okay.
How to find an amazing Sisterlocks consultant.
Mm.
And today we have our special guest, Jessica. Can you tell us a little bit about our special guest?
So our special guest is Sabrina Davis, and she's the owner of Queen of Boots in Orlando, Florida. She is also one of our in-person trainers and a certified sister loss consultant. And so I'm excited to have her to come in and give us her take on sister locks and how to find an amazing consultant. Hi,
Hi.
Sabrina. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thanks. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so we want you to give us a little bit of your background. Tell us all about yourself, where you're from.
Um, Thank you. So originally born and raised in Washington, D.C., been living here in Orlando, Florida for about 19 years. So like Jessica said, I'm the owner of Queen of Roots, LLC. I'm a licensed cosmetologist for over 13 years. I've been with Sister Locks since 2008. And my motto is if your hair's not becoming to you, you need to be coming to me.
Mm.
Wow. We love it. Nice. So, what do you love most about the sister lock, your sister locks, the industry, and what you do?
Say it one more time.
What do you love most about sister locks in the industry?
I love changing lives on both spectrums. When they want to come in and become consultants and you can become an independent entrepreneur all by yourself, by your gifts.
Hmm.
I love encouraging people to work for themselves. The other part is I like to free people from thinking that their hair is bad all the time. I'm going to free you all the way up.
Oh, good. All right, Cassandra.
All right. So we're doing something a little bit differently. Normally, our first segment is just me and Jessica, but Miss Sabrina is such a wealth of knowledge. We had to bring her in. When we mentioned the topic, she just started, spewing out all this great information. So we had to have her in here in the room. So we're switching things up a little bit, just right on the fly.
Yeah.
Um, so to start off this conversation, I just wanted to start off by saying that Sister Loss consultants and trainees are independent contractors. Sabrina, can you break down what does that mean?
So to be considered an independent contractor, it's like you're your own universe. You are your business. And you are in charge of all of the functions that has to happen in running a very successful business. So the most important thing to me is definitely having your policies and procedures. You have to start to set your boundaries. So are you going to be doing business as, or are you going to be like an LLC, or you going to be incorporated? You have to find out where you want to go with that. Independent contractor means I independently own my business and I'm responsible for all of my clients who come my way and all of the training that I do. So it's me being totally responsible for my services.
Okay, I love that explanation. So now that we know what independent contractor is, Jessica, let's just get to the meat and potatoes. How would you suggest a client uh, take care of a dispute with a consultant?
So I suggest that dispute be handled one-on-one between the consultant and the client, because it's not Sisterlock's responsibility to handle that. As an independent contractor, we are, as Cassandra said, we are responsible for our own entity, our own business. And so disputes, unless that need to be handled, should be between the consultant and the client. And if it goes any further then and court takes place, then they have to handle that in the courtroom, not with Sisterlocks, because we've been so inundated with those complaints that, just for a person who says, oh, my parts and sections aren't correct, you don't have to go to home office for that, because there's nothing that, Dr. C can do, because their independent contractor requires that they deal with it on from that aspect. So leaving the Sisterlocks home office out of it, making it between the client and the consultant is the best way to go for that to be handled in court.
Okay. I do know that if you do have to go to court, if something is extremely outside the guidelines of Sisterlocks will provide documentation saying that wasn't a part of what Sisterlocks is about.
That is
But Ms. Sabrina, you had some great advice when we were talking about when is it appropriate to contact Sisterlocks, and what would you expect the response to be?
So as a consumer, I truly understand we consumers need to take responsibility as well as the consultant. So we're talking about the consumer. Like Jessica said, please handle it one-on-one. I feel like if I come to you, and I might be a little upset if my hair is not where I did my research and it's not supposed to be, but I feel like we in this world right now, if you have a conversation, I don't see why the person wouldn't just fix it. It had to have been something a little more. But going further, I would still let Sisterlocks know that this situation happened with this particular consultant. Why? Because when Dr. C is looking for trainees and consultants, that she needs to look and see how many positive reviews as well as negative. How about this? Let's not always do negative. What about when your consultant is doing a fabulous job? How come we can't hear some of those sometimes? Because that helps.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jessica, thank you for that. Because a lot of times, if you put out a complaint, you may not get the response from Sisterlocks that you think you should have, but that doesn't mean that complaint isn't logged. When you go to become a brand ambassador, they go back and look at those things, and see if you have any unresolved disputes. So it does have an effect, even if you didn't get the response that you wanted to have. So keep that in mind. And also, we start. Oh,
yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Sabrina.
I would just say too, even let's say you send the complaint and the consultant does work it out. Don't forget to send to say that she did figure it out, because sometimes we in our emotions, and honey, we just finished COVID and we still in COVID. But with that being said, you in your feelings, you write the letter to Sisterlocks, they get it, they're like, okay. But let's say there are good consultants out there. There's 3 on this podcast right now, so we're out there. How do you know we wouldn't have fixed it? So if we fix it, then make sure home office know that we fixed it.
Yeah.
I think there's more. Go ahead, Ms. Jessica.
I think that follow up is what makes the difference. You have enough sense to call and complain. So let's go back and make sure that they know that, hey, this person, because Dr. Cornwell, we always talk about integrity, making sure that the consultant had enough integrity to go back and right the wrong.
Like that. Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think there's more great consultants out there, the consultants who cause problems. And I don't want to go off into this tangent, but I also want to add, did you follow your consultant's instructions? Wow. I'm going to stop right there. That's another podcast at another time. Look at Miss Sabrina.
Write it down. You need to write it down.
But we're going to come back to that part. But I just want to end this segment by just saying, if you had a problem with your doctor, right, you wouldn't go back to the college that they graduated from, right? You would go to that doctor directly and settle the dispute with them. If you had to take them to, the court or anything like that, that's how you would handle that. This is the same thing. Sisterlocks mainly specializes in education. They offer classes and training. It's the consultants who actually do the work. And so when we get into our next segment, Miss Jessica and Sabrina are going to be talking about how to find that amazing consultant. Okay.
All right, so Sabrina, let's talk about how to find an amazing Sisterlocks consultant. All right.
Yes.
So, what would you say the first step should be that a client should take when looking for a Sisterlocks consultant?
Okay, so remember we do have to we have trainees because I remember we all started that way and we were all amazing. So there are amazing trainees, but yes, looking for a consultant. I always say do your research first. And let's start at the home office. Always do your research at sisterlocks with an S.com. Sisterlocks.com. I didn't spell locks. Sisterlocks.com. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay.
what happened, even with that, it's still as a client, as a consumer, let's talk about what your needs are. Yes, you want your locks done, okay, but let's talk about distance. How far do you want to go? Then let's talk about location because we can do home base or we could do it in a salon or a suite and things like that. So you have to understand first what it is that you're looking for. And if you don't know, that's why you go to the home office Sister Locks website. It has a whole lot of good information in there to help you even get started and what to look for and things like that. So first things first is always the research. Now, when you check the website, definitely still look at the trainees, but yes, you can look at the consultants, right? When you're talking to the consultant, I would say as a trainee, let me see your mannequin. Did you
Oh,
finish your mannequin?
nice.
And when did you finish class? Right? Because I'm gonna tell you, my first model, honey, was my mannequin. That's how I got my clients. I ain't had no clients. So what did I show them? I had to show them what my work was looking like at that time. Now, of course, it's way, 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 way better. But
Yeah.
at that time, that's what I sold was my mannequin. So if they say they ain't do their mannequin,
Okay.
or are we dealing with a consultant? When was the last time you took a refresher course?
Mm,
Right? And if they said, okay, I haven't done it in a while, it's not that it's a bad thing because we had COVID and things like that. But then say, okay, can I see some of your work? Is it possible I can see some of your work? Is it possible I can even talk to one or two of your clients and just ask them their feedback and things like that? You, as the consumer, need to be proactive because when people ask me these questions, I say, yes, honey, you sold, honey, because my clients gonna sell me,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then, like I said, for the trainee, they shouldn't have any work. So what is their work? That mannequin, right? So I'm glad Dr. C has made it so that now it's mandatory that you got to finish that mannequin. So that'll even help the consumers feel even a little better. Um, Also ask them are they full time and part time. Why? Because it's still they can still do it part time, but then you just got to make sure it makes sense in their life and it makes sense in your life. And then if they full time, then that makes that works with you even better. And then how do you make your appointments? Is she a techie? Does she have an online kind of system and things like that? And that's when you get to learn their policies and procedures. But between all what I just said, the first thing before when you're taking on a new person, they better offer you a consultation. I'm not. Some of them do them for free, some don't. It's okay. Find out who do. But if they say they could take you today, that ain't it. All of us. Anytime you meet me, you already know you got to do a consultation with me. Now the free one, I'm just saying me a little bit. But then when you come in for the consultation, there is always a fee. So be ready for the fee. Those are to me are like when you're looking for an establishment and things like that. These are what I would be looking out for when I'm looking for a trainee or a consultant.
Now, what do you think about? Because you made a good statement when you said the free one. Would you
hmm
consider that one that 5 or 10 minute phone conversation that free
hmm
one? And then
So let me tell you what happened with COVID. I used to do my consultation where people would come in my face. Now I do it over on video. So in order to even get close to me, we're going to do a video for 15 minutes. That's all I'm giving you, 15 minutes. And in that time, I would know and you would know if you like, you know what, I want to move to the next step with you. And then that's what we do. Or I politely say, I think I'm going to find you another avenue or maybe my services do not work with what you're asking for. You let them know right there. So ain't nobody wasting no more time, no more money, no more gas. We all know before you even make it into my door if you come in or not.
now that's beautiful.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
makes a lot of sense because again, like you said, they don't have to come into your establishment, and you both can make that decision at that point there. So now that's your free one, right?
Yep, that's my free one.
Okay, all right. So, what do you consider? What would you consider if having a trainee do the establishment? Would you consider? What would you?
So first and foremost, what trainees understand they nervous is I don't know what. They scared, they not confident, honey. They about to ask you for some money, honey, with some zeros behind some numbers, and they just real honestly, they all nervous. I know I was,
Yeah,
right? So ladies, would you say when you was
I was
training,
nervous.
right? I
Mhm.
wasn't confident and
Yeah,
all those kind of things. With that being said, they are the true ones are gonna make sure they take their time and they're gonna make sure they do it by the book. pretty much when I was my first 10 clients, I had my book open because I just did not want to do anything off of what now that I can do it, not with my eyes closed, but I'm just saying I know what I'm supposed to do. It's not necessary these many years in I need to use my book. But I would say look for the one who opens that book because you can't get all of this, all that in one swoop. Again, they're going to be a little slow. It's you're going to have to be a little patient with them. But trust me, you should. They felt my energy that I really want you to have this. That's that energy you'll find out when you're doing your consultation, when you put in your sample logs. You'll know that passion. You'll feel it in your aura that she's like, she gonna do me right, right? And we know if the energy off, that's if you forcing something, then that's on you. But as consultants here, you know that we have that passion and that energy that goes into what it is that we do. Um, my main thing is, did she finish her manicure? Because I'm trying to tell you, my mannequin, I still have her to this day. My mannequin, I had some battle wounds. I learned a lot messing with that man. And then when I got to the actual head, it made my job actually easier. So those are what I would say when you're considering a trainee for your establishment, kind of look at some of those things. You will feel their passion. They want you to have this.
Now,
I guess we're making it for a fee, but remember, I'm gonna just say what I said. I started off at $500.
yeah.
Girl, it was work.
I think I started. My first one was like 350. So and my next one I just went up.
Exactly. So each time we learned something, we went up a little here. Nothing like we went up like COVID prices, but we had to make it make sense for us too. So yeah, my first 10.
Yeah. And I totally agree with the mannequin because the mannequin is not going to get tired. You can mess it up, take it back down again, practice it, perfect it. You can even get more than one mannequin. So I think that is very necessary. And as you said, I do appreciate the fact that Dr. Cornwell has now made it a requirement to complete that mannequin before you start touching on a live person. I think it's going to cut back, and it's also going to help with the consultant or the trainee being certified on the first go around. I truly believe that. What do you think, Cassandra?
Yes, even when it comes to mentoring, I don't really take a student seriously. The first thing I ask them is, did you finish your mannequin? Because that shows, or at least are they working on their mannequin? That shows that they're serious, that they have passion. So the mannequin is the key. When someone tells me, "Oh, I don't have any clients," the first thing I ask them is, did you finish your mannequin, and do you have set prices? Those are usually kind of the key things for them. That's how important it is. But Sabrina, I'm going to throw something into the mix. What red flags are there when it comes to looking for? Oh, look at her, because it's fine to look for the things that we know. There's things that we should look for, right? What would make you decide, or what red flags are we looking for in a consultant? Like, I'm going to you, like, what is an automatic no when it comes to looking for a consultant?
That's a hot one.
Right. So let's because you got to break that up because you got two sides. Trainees and then you got the consultants. If you have a trainee who just too eager, like, come on, you can come today or you can come tomorrow. One of them, that's like a buyer beware kind of flag. And I have nothing against home-based, lawn-based, or anything like that. But when you do that consultation, you kind of get to see their environment and see what they're going to do. I was going to go back and say, the 5 senses, because that's something you got to make sure you hitting all those 5 senses with a 10. I'm going to say a 10, 10s across the board, honey, 10s, right? So if I walk it, red flag, honey, if one of my 5 senses is saying anything less than 10, okay, I'll be nice and say 8, okay?
Okay.
That works on both sides, right? But as a consultant, consultants. A red flag for a consultant is a one who, let's see, one who, well, okay, first they start off by not responding back to you. So you reach out and they don't respond back. So let's say you do happen to get one who responds to you, and what she doesn't sound very professional, right? I get it too sometimes where I run my own business, so that means I have my earbuds in, I might be answering my phone and things like that. But if for a consultant, if they haven't learned how to give your client that one undivided attention kind of thing, if you feel like your consultant is doing a whole lot of other things, it's an energy thing. So I'm gonna say both. If you feeling a little something, I've had clients do it to me. She said the energy is off. I'm ready to go. No disrespect. She might have. That's how she felt. And I'm glad that we didn't even push the issue even further. She wouldn't have been happy anyway, right?
Right.
It's one of those things too for consult. Like guys, when you go out there and you buy something of value, I'm not going to say whatever it is whatever you feel of value. You're going to examine it. You're going to make sure you ask questions, and you're going to make sure that you feel comfortable before you actually make that purchase. So what I feel with the consultants coming up nowadays, y'all kind of not professional. I need y'all to
When you call, like you
when
said,
you call.
initial is what you saying hello, like, well, what's your business? You know what? Let's answer this with hi, this is Sabrina Davis, Queen of Roots, but not hello, what you doing, what you want, what you thinking.
Right. So for me, if you call me, I'm like, hi, this is Sabrina. How can I help you? And I sound like I'm ready to take on whatever it is you asking me for. Right. Or I might, it depends. Like it could be a real lovely day. This is Sabrina from Queen of Roots. How may I help you today? Like it's all in that, not like, hello, yeah. Uh-huh. Well, I got it.
What do you want? Like make a person feel like they're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, because remember, you gotta remember back in it, like I started my locks back in 1990, my first set of locks back in the 1900s. Girl, we was doing it really in the house, which was fine, right? But there was no really doing natural hair besides braids in a salon. So what happens is that's one of the things I felt like I got a little frustrated with. Why aren't we as naturals getting professional services just like a person with a relaxer or someone who's getting color when they come in, they're greeted nicely, they're escorted, and then they draped and everything like that. And so, but natural, you just walk in, you sit down, and then they just do your hair, and then you walk out the salon or out the chair. So I feel like we just need to bring the professionalism into natural hair. It's not you, my girlfriend, and we just doing hair. It's bring it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just want to add that's something you can expect from a home-based business. I worked from home for a lot of years. And, I greeted my clients at the door. They had their special bathroom. I have a special area. They come in. I'm dressed. I have shoes on. I would have, have some makeup on. On lots of occasions, my clients would say, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm doing your hair." But, this is what I do. So you can expect that, also from a home-based business, not just in your salon. Because even to this day, the majority of Sister Locks businesses
Or in home.
are in the home. And it's like Sabrina was saying, it's not like a pro or a con. It's that energy. Jessica, can you hint on how do you feel about the presentation of a website? Like that's one of the first impressions, right?
So honestly, I believe in a website, but I also think that what I see from your website should exhibit when I meet you the same. Because a lot of times people you can place anything on a website and that just not be who you are just to get a person to come. It's like that marketing 101. That's the perfect thing that they always talk about. Make sure your website is, but make sure also you are up to par for your website. Because people always, oh my gosh, I love your website. I always tell people when they call me wanting a service, have you gone to my website? Go to my website, read about everything on the website, and then if you find that I'm a good fit for you, let's talk. But I don't have conversations with them until after you've learned about the person that you're about to come see. So the website is everything, but again, like I said, if you're not up to par with your website, then what we doing? Because it's gonna tell when they meet you. You're not that wonderful person with all those accolades that I saw on the website. What are you doing? So I do believe a website is necessary. I have someone to run mine because I'm not that savvy with that, situation. So I pay someone to do all of my websites and, advertisements and stuff like that. But if a person cannot afford that, it's, they have the ones that you can go and create on your own. But make sure that it also has the sisterlocks.com link associated to that website. Because if you don't have the capacity to put those frequently asked questions there, the sisterlocks.com website, if it's linked there, they can click the link and go and see everything about Sisterlocks. It'll make the job of a trainee much easier because if they forget to answer a question or if they forget to give you some information, the information is already there. So I believe in the website. I also believe in free advertisement in social media as well. But I do believe that that website is so important because it's going to set the precedence for the experience that consumer is going to receive from that consultant or training.
Okay, okay.
I just want to just piggyback on that a little bit. For the ones who just starting out, your representation of who you are on social media should be who you are.
Oh
So
yeah.
pretty much, if you see me on social media, you know I'm like, ooh, yeah, I'm still like that, right? But at the same time, when I'm ready to be serious, everybody know that, okay, here she come. That's it. I'm here to teach, and we ready to move. So I love the fact that you said it has to line up. So if
Yeah.
you got all that personal stuff and my kids, and all that on your business page when you're trying to work with Sisterlocks, take all of that off and just talk about your experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
don't
it
show
shouldn't.
no work.
Right.
Yeah, when we talk about showing work, let's clarify just real quickly before we go on to our next segment. We're looking at does your consultant have photos of her clients styled, right? Not necessarily showing the secrets of stochastic partings and the sectioning, but it's very easy to tell if someone's hair is done properly without seeing that, just seeing a styled head. So they should have that. And then my take on the website is that is important. Just like the other ladies, I feel like my website, when you go to my website and you meet me, it lines up.
That's it.
But at the same time, you have to know how to tone it down. You know, you might like, African beats, and that's amazing. But if you have that blaring, you can show that in the colors. If you have that music blaring, that might be, a turnoff for some of your clients. So be aware of some of the choices that you make and see how that is perceived by the client you're trying to attract, right? Because
See
sometimes
that
people
goes
just
back.
go,
Yeah.
go ahead, Jessica.
Well, see that goes back into when you said the five senses. I
Hmm.
just loved when we had that in our 4 day training because it automatically said, do you like what you see? Do you like the music that I'm playing? Do you like the smells? Do you like what you're touching? Do you like what my bathroom? All of those things, it just played into parts of this is what I expect, and this is how I want to receive my. I want to sit in a place or a chair where the atmosphere is great. If you have on music, it could be jazz music, it could be something really nice, but you don't have to feed me. I don't have to eat. We don't have to do. But let's just be comfortable and let the energy, as Sabrina said, let the energy just flow because this is not a hairstyle; it is a lifestyle. And I think that when Dr. C created Sister Lock, she created it with love and with the sisterhood connection. And so if those five senses, if there's something off with those five senses, I'm going to be able to say, you know what, I might be able to deal with the kids running around, or whatever that case may be. But you get to decide what's good and what's not, what's more important and what's not that important when you deal with those five senses. And for me, I like to meet the mark. Like Sabrina said, I want the 10. You know what I'm saying? Because when you think about how much we charge for our services, okay, we're charging for those services. I don't want to pay a lot of money for a service if I got to sit and kick stuff out the way while you're doing my hair, or if I got to wait for you to go and feed your kids, because and you in your pajamas when I show up to your home based salon, and that's a problem for me. So I really do love, like you said, five senses. That's always been near and dear to me. And I even still, in our in-person classes, talk to the students about, what are you expecting? How are you going to present yourself when you do open up your business, whether it's in a studio, salon, in your home, in a she shed, no matter where it's at, what are you going to bring that's going to entice these clients, consumers, to come in for services for you? Because what they see in you is what they want to perceive for the lifetime. So
I like that too when you said, Cassandra, like your clients be like, where you going? I'm telling you, I'll be so cute. They was like, you got a date today? I said, I sure do. With you, boo. And
Yes.
they like, okay. I'll
you're
make sure.
gonna get all of me.
Yes, I'm giving you all of me. It's just me and you right here. So I love that, Cassandra. Like you really, if you feel good within yourself, like why would you not want to pass that energy? If you feeling like you're not feeling well, you might need to reschedule. Because then Sister Lock's work is going to just work. It's going to work you. Like
Mm.
I enjoy what I do. I love it.
Look, that's another conversation, right?
Oh, my bad. Okay.
No. I'm just saying it's so funny how it's all linked and we're all so passionate. But I want to wrap up this segment by saying,
Yeah.
clients, if you're looking to get an establishment done, do your due diligence.
Mhm.
And if you doesn't feel comfortable, just say no. It might mean that you lose your deposit from your consultation, or things like that. But what would you be want to be out, 50, 25, 50 to $100 for a consultation, or have an establishment that you didn't want? It's all about those red flags. Once you decide to get that establishment, we move forward, we go together. That's a marriage, that's a relationship.
Real big.
So you wouldn't just go, and just meet, it's not like you just meet somebody off the street. If you see the red flags, you gotta say stop, and back it up. This is the same thing. So don't be afraid to, say no,
Yeah.
wait to make your decision, and go back and do some more research if that person is not the one. Because 9 times out of 10, when people have disputes with their consultant, let's bring these two top segments together, right? When someone has a dispute with their consultant, a lot of times the client will say, oh, well, she didn't do this. She didn't do the consultation. She didn't give me sample locks. She was late. So there's all these things that they didn't do. Or, she was on the phone the whole time. She wasn't professional. She didn't listen to me. And so you have all of these things. And the number one, she wasn't on the website.
Ooh, yeah.
There's no excuse to
Yeah.
not to be on the SLOC website. You may have been a trainee, approved trainee, certified consultant, brand ambassador, etc. But you are supposed to be on the website. If they're not on the website, do not let them do your hair.
Buyer
You know,
beware.
yes, buyer beware, and don't be afraid to say no. That is a good reason to reach out to a brand ambassador in your area, even if they're not in your area, to ask for advice on helping to find a consultant, right? They may not know someone, but if you talk to someone about some of these warning signs, just like if you're dating someone and you have these warning signs, you mention to your girlfriend, girl, he did this, he wasn't answering his phone. She will tell you all the truth, right? As to why he is not the one. And you need to listen.
Yeah.
And one other thing, we're going to wrap it up. We always say she, but we do have some gentlemen
Oh
that are
yeah.
part of our community, and they are
And we do have
amazing.
transgenders too.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. We have a wide range of community. So we're always saying she, that's the whole Sister Lock family. Okay.
Mhm.
So now we're going to go into our last segment. Miss Sabrina is staying with us. We were going to say goodbye to Sabrina,
But
but
the industry,
she's
I
still
didn't win
here.
your hearts. I didn't win your hearts.
Yes, you have. Um, so now I want to talk about. Let's give some advice to these transfer clients, right?
okay, okay.
So, because for the most part, clients with new establishment, they're exciting, they're fun. We're going on this journey with them, and then you have your transfer clients. And I always say your transfer clients can be your best and your worst.
So
I said it out loud.
Yes.
So, um, Jessica, what advice do you have? Like, what are the key things that you look for when someone's coming to you as a transfer client?
So first, I would like to know how many weeks has it been since you've been away from your last consultant? What was the reason behind why you are choosing to no longer partner with said consultant? Um, what locking pattern it is that you have, the condition of your hair, um, what information are you bringing with you when you come, and what knowledge do you have about your own hair? Like, what have been your practices when you're not with your consultant? But the most important thing is, why are you not with them anymore? Why do you want to transfer to me? Is one of the is some advice that I would want them want to know. Um, yeah, because a lot of times you just don't know. Like, they just, oh, I just left because I didn't like her energy, or I just left because a lot of times that my schedule doesn't meet up with your schedule, or she wouldn't allow me to schedule 6 months in advance. And so, is that something that I'm willing to do? Do I want to bog out my schedule just because you just want to come every Friday? At the same time, like, what is that? So those are some things that I look for, especially the condition of their locks. Like, yeah, that's important, because I may not want to take you on as a client because your hair is so egregious, or your locking technique wasn't as standard as it should be, or you waited so long that the retightening is going to take repairs that they may not want to pay for. So
Okay.
Miss Sabrina, we're gonna go back to the red flag.
We're going back to the
This is
red flag. Oh, what red flag for the consumer or the consultant? Which one?
well, both sides. Well, because I think that clients just feel like, oh, I want to get my hair done. I have the money. I'm gonna contact her, and they're gonna want to do my hair.
Cause you
And
did.
so, yes, because you're desperate. But so, as a consultant,
As a
what red
consultant.
as a consultant, use Miss Sabrina. What are some red flags? Like, why would you decide not to take a transfer client?
So it's going to be a two-part to this because you have people who've had Sisterlocks and who have cut them off and they come back and they was like, I already did all of that. I just want you to put them back in. That's a red flag and the answer is almost immediately no. Then I have the clients who like done so much YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, sister cousin kind of research and things like that. I break the ice and say, are you going to listen to what I'm telling you to do or are you going to listen to what everybody else is telling you what to do? And then we make a determination. Well, and if I get the I'm not saying it's immediately no, but I do go into the reason why I'm asking you to do what I'm needing you to do so that I can give you the best set of locks possible. What you're not going to do, since I'm not a trainee no more, is rush me. You rush me, the answer is no. Something is not right with this situation. There's no, I don't have to oversell Sisterlocks. Sisterlocks sells itself. You coming to me, asking me to give it to you. What you're not going to do is rush me. So especially if they don't want to shampoo their hair, that's a red flag to me. If you don't shampoo your hair when you had those sample locks in, and you tell me, well, I only shampoo my hair once. I'm just not your consultant, sweetheart. If you want someone else, I just let them like this. This not gonna work because I've learned over the years when I just let stuff go, let it go. You are it's hard to work with that client moving forward, especially when you're talking about slippage. Then they start putting holes in their locks. Then they're gonna want to color their hair before time. It's just too much of you fighting with me, and I don't need to fight with you. So for me, as a consultant, the reason why I would say no to you, you ain't gonna rush me. I'm gonna give you my best work, but I'm gonna feel good doing it.
Okay. How would you feel if a client contacts you, but she doesn't want to tell you who did her hair before?
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't want to give you any information. How do you feel about that?
I have to, first and foremost, I have to gain her trust, his or her trust, right? I have to gain their trust first because whatever has happened has put them in a state of mind that they're really upset, but they still know what they want, which is I want these sister loves. But this situation, and then what happens is, because positive energy, honey, once people feel comfortable, what happen? They do, they get to talking. And then eventually, now I've not been in a situation where a person eventually hasn't told me that information. I have not. In the beginning, I'll accept it, but I definitely have to make sure, I need you to make sure that person's name is on the website. So you're going to have to give me a little something. Or once I go in here, I'm about to find out if you really do have Sisterlocks or not. And then you can call your whoever she was, and you can tell her what I said and tell her who my name is and who I stand for.
I think sometimes you just have a client, you'll ask them some questions, they're like, I don't know. It's like you just can't, you're just coming here with no credentials. You don't want to tell me anything or anything.
Oh,
But you
I
expect
learned
me.
that on that 15-minute consultation, that free one. Oh, that would have been an absolute no. Oh, no. We ain't wasting each other's time. I'm going to help you. Yeah. So, I mean, but before, like I said, before COVID, that means I would spend the time for the person to actually come into the salon. And that's when I meet and greet them. And that's when I will find out if our energies match. I've learned over the years, like, if it's not just flowing, then I would definitely have a nice exit strategy to say why me and you are not a good fit.
So to add to that, Sabrina, do you do like online scheduling? How do they
Yes.
schedule for a consultation with you?
Yes. You would go to my queenofroots.com. That's QUEENOFROOTS.com. And then you would pick on book an appointment, and it will say 15-minute consultation for free. It does describe what you would need to bring to this consultation, what I'm going to be asking, and things like that. And it says after that we would determine pricing and and your scheduled date from there.
Okay. But also to clarify, you have that 15 minutes, but then you'll actually do an in-person consultation,
I
correct?
sure
For the
would.
sample
I
lots?
sure would. Exactly. So they know exactly everything. And this, if we're talking about Sisterlocks, we're doing the consultation locking session, first retightening. In that consultation, I go through everything. I tell you what the price is. I tell them how long also, that's another thing. Ask how long is their consultation? Because
Right.
I've heard real horror stories. I'm so sorry out there, guys, that sometimes a consultation was more than 2 hours. I'm like, ooh. I'm sorry. So I tell them mine is an hour and a half, but I shampoo hair. So if you're not shampooing hair, I don't see why your consultation should be more than an hour. I'm missing the point. I mean, unless you're really slow. So I get it in the beginning, but I'm an hour.
I'd say an hour, sometimes an hour 15. If the client has a lot of questions, sometimes that can, can take you there. I asked you that question because I do not have online scheduling. I schedule everyone personally. So you go to my website and you fill out a form. Basically, you request. And I do that initial consultation over the phone. So that's where I, talk to someone. So when you call me, I'm asking you questions. How did you find me? If you haven't been to my website, I'm not going to schedule you. Have you been to Sisterlocks.com? If you haven't been to Sisterlocks.com, I'm not going to, schedule you. I ask them, how they feel about their hair, and those types of things. And from that vibe, I'll decide whether or not I want to move forward for that in person. But usually it's about 15 minutes of time that I spend with them. And sometimes I know they're like, she's invasive. I'm asking, do they have hobbies? Do they have children? And just in those conversations, I'm kind of getting, a feel for them. But I also tell them, I'm a by the book consultant.
Yeah.
I do things by the book. I don't do any YouTube university. And I say that up front because I don't want them to have the expectation that I'm going to follow what they think I should follow. Not saying that I'm not going to make them happy, but I have the experience, I have the training, and that also goes with transfer clients. They could be some of your best clients because sometimes someone, for whatever reason, they just can't go back to their consultant. It could be distance. It could be because of finance. It could just be because of personalities. It's not necessarily that it was a bad thing. Every time you go, she loves a little Johnny Gill or whatever she's listening to, but you just don't like that. And it doesn't make you feel comfortable. So you decide to go to someone else. You've been maintaining your hair well for all of those years. And now, you just need to find someone else and see, can you find a good fit. So it's not always a bad thing. Miss Jessica, what red flags did you have, or why would you decide not to take a transfer client?
My main reason would be the condition of their hair. Because I don't know if I want to take that time to go back and reinvent that wheel of reestablishing or combing down. And if their attitude, when I answer the phone, in my business professional, and they're just automatically trying to go for the juggler. And how much do you charge? Do you do sister laws? Can I change it? Like, wait a minute. First of all, what's your name? How you going to come approach me is also going to make me it's going to be a red flag, because again, that means that our personalities are not going to meet together and we're not going to work well. If you can't come in at the time that my schedule, like you want me to come, you want to come in at 9 o'clock, I close at 5. I'm not making adjustments or jumping through hoops to get you in the door. So respect. If you can't respect my boundaries, then we really can't work together. Yeah, because I'm all about don't run over top of me, because I'm not trying to run over you, and I don't want us to have a car accident, in the midst of me doing your hair. So let's just, how you make me feel is how I'm going to operate in this space, because again, I am the operator and the owner of my own universe, as Sabrina said. So if you start making me feel like I'm all geared up inside or I'm about to bubble over, you just got to do, like she said, that exit strategy, because I don't have to accept anything in my place of business. So if you want to come and be respectful, be professional, appreciate what I'm bringing and I'm offering you, then we can work together. I may even make adjustments if your finances are looking a little funny, because really it's not about money to me. I always let them know this is not how I eat. This is what I love, and this is like, so if your finances looking a little funny and your attitude is great, we can talk and we can work together, because eventually you're going to respect me, and it's going to be great, because you're going to see what I'm bringing to the table is what you really want. So red flags is don't cross me, because
we are servants. I mean, excuse me. We provide a service. We are not servants.
Yeah.
And I think people, you know, forget that. But this has been an amazing, amazing conversation. Oh my gosh, Sabrina. you know, I'm just so happy that you were just here with us. It really, really. I don't know if I speak. You bless my heart. Just your joy, your spirit, and I haven't been able to spend a lot of time with you. So it's been a joy being with you. You too, Miss Jessica. We love having you here. So, I just want to end by thanking my co-host, Miss Jessica. Thank you so much for being here. Thanking Miss Sabrina Davis for being here with me. We were able to talk about, how to handle situations when you're having problems with your consultant, right? We talked about how to find an amazing consultant. At the end of the day, go with your gut,
Yeah.
go with the facts. And don't just make last minute decisions because, in Sisterlocks we say that you're locked for life, right? It's not necessarily literal, but that is going to have effect on you for the rest of your life. So you want to make that a good journey for yourself. And then the last thing, there's transfer clients out there. And I tell my clients when they want to transfer, you better beef up your Sisterlock resume. Know when your last retirement was. Take the retirement class. When you call that next consultant, I say you need to give them a 3-point contact. You can call them, text them, and send them an email if it's far in advance, not harassing. Start off with go to their website and fill out their form if they have that. Usually that's enough. If they don't have that, you can send them a very polite email letting them know who your consultant is. When was your last appointment? What was what is your locking pattern? Whether or not you took the retightening class, that you use Sisterlocks products. All of those things is a good Sisterlock resume that makes me be like, oh my gosh, I would love to have them. A bad resume is someone who waits to the absolutely last minute, who calls, like Miss Jessica said, with kind of like an attitude, and they want their hair done immediately. It's like you've already waited 12 weeks. Waiting another 4 weeks shouldn't be a problem. You know what I mean? And then I'm trying to keep a straight face, ladies.
Okay.
Or just not trying to use the Sisterlocks product line, even if you haven't been using, what the Sisterlocks product line. If you're going to a new consultant, and then that's what they, expect of you. If you're not willing to do that, that might not be the consultant for you. So make sure you're looking at the perspective of the person who you want to do their hair, and be a client, someone who we would love to have as a client. And hopefully your consultant will do the same for you so you can have that loving relationship. We're going to sign off. Just remember, you can find us at sisterlocks.com, on Facebook. We're going to be posted on YouTube. And hopefully by the time this video comes out, we'll actually have some content on TikTok as well. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you.